Good morning, YouTube. Matt M. Roy back again. Well, I am finally back to you with the review of my new Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. This is a few days late, but I'm actually going to do it now. Luckily, the weather is absolutely beautiful today. Got plenty of sunlight, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Now, I picked up my Galaxy S7 from Best Buy. I got it through the AT&T Edge program, so basically that's where you pay it off a little bit each month. It actually becomes part of your bill. It's actually not that bad of a deal. I'm only going to be paying about $10 more per month, and I got a brand new, really nice phone. Now, I'll go ahead and start with the box itself. The box is really nice. It's nice and solid. As you can see, this is the 32 gigabyte model. I'm not going to show you the bottom because that has all of my EIMA, all my personal information on it, but you can see the specs on this phone are, it is 4G LTE compatible, it is a 64-bit quad-core processor, it's a Snapdragon processor, and I'll show you guys the information, a little bit more on that in just a minute. It has 4 gigabytes of memory, which is really makes this thing lightning fast. 5.5 inch Quad HD Super AMOLED. Now, yeah, I know that's a mouthful. Basically, it's good for 1080p. This is not a 4K screen, but it is very, very sharp. The 5.5 inch is okay. As I've said in the past, my hands are kind of small, so I do struggle a little bit. Like when I text or type on this, if you have smaller hands, I actually have to use 2 hands to it. I have to use one to hold the phone and then one to go ahead and type because my thumb is not long enough to reach the entire keyboard. It has a 12 megapixel dual pixel main camera. Very, very good quality camera. I've not really had any issues. The only complaint I have about it is it's only 12 megapixels if you're using it in the standard 4:3 mode. If you want a widescreen 16:9 shot, then you have to drop it down to 9 megapixels. And of course, it's just a 5 megapixel front facing camera, which is also very good quality. If you guys have been seeing any of my recent vlog videos, this is what I've actually been using to film those with. Let's see, we got IP68 dustproof and water resistant. Now this is important, guys. This phone is water resistant. I know there are videos online saying that people have dunked this thing in water and let it sit overnight and it was fine. Do not do that. The phone itself will survive, but the speaker and the microphone that will not work properly afterwards. So please don't try that with this phone. If you get a little bit of water on it, that's fine. That's what it was designed for. Like if you get caught in the rain, or maybe you're riding a ride somewhere at a theme park and you get a little bit of water on it, that's fine. But do not do any water tests with this, please. Wireless charging pad required. I don't actually have that, but I really think that's a neat device. Basically, what that means is you can just lay the phone on this pad and it'll actually charge the battery that way without having to plug it into the micro USB port. If I ever get one of those, I'll definitely go ahead and review that as well. 32 gigabyte memory with support for external micro SD card. This is what I have a problem with. I do have a 32 gigabyte memory card in there, but I don't understand why these phones are still so small. 32 gigabytes is not nearly enough internal memory for most of us, especially someone like me that does a lot of videos and likes to have a lot of music on their phone. One thing I'm hoping they'll do is increase that. Now, there is a 64 gigabyte model of the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge, but it is not available in the United States. It is only available, to the best of my knowledge, in Japan and I think certain parts of Europe. So, yeah, that's something they definitely have to work on. Samsung Play, which I will never use. I'd rather just use the Google Play Store, and the Android operating system. This is running Android 6.0, so it's got the latest version of Android on there, and I will show you guys it is lightning fast. Alright, now that I open the box, I'll go ahead and just move my receipt out of the way. They give you a little quick start guide in here just to explain all the different functions of the phone. You got your volume buttons on the left side, the edge screen on both sides, the home button, which also doubles as a fingerprint reader. The recent button is here, and then the back button is on the right of that. And then once again, the charging port's on the bottom. You have the power and lock button, and then the other side of the edge screen right there. I have AT&T, so this is where the SIM card comes in. I believe this is called a micro SIM card. I'm not 100% sure. You guys can correct me on that if I'm wrong. All right. And down in here we have, this is where the power cables were. This is a little adapter. This is actually a micro USB to regular USB that you would plug in the bottom. I believe this is if you want to hook up USB mouse or any type of USB peripherals, you can do that. Basically, this plugs into here like that, and then you can use a regular sized USB peripheral. And in here, I don't think I can get my fingers in there. This is just a regular set of head buds. I mean, nothing super special. Let's see if I can get it out of there. Yep, just some regular head buds, you know, pretty much what you get with any kind of smartphone these days. And in here, just some more documentation. This is the health and safety and warranty guide. They pretty much have to include these with all the phones nowadays. You know, you can go through this if you want. It just describes the safe operation of the phones, tells you not to use it when you're driving, and probably a little bit of maintenance tips in there as well. And then just some more advertising from AT&T. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the phone itself. On top here you have the little notification warning, which on mine is actually going off right now. Let's see what this is. You have your part of the camera up here, but I think this is also another notification warning light. You have the speaker here, camera right up front, the front-facing 5-megapixel camera. On top here you have the microphone. I believe that's a microphone up there. Yeah, so if you're talking. That is where the SD card goes on top, the SIM card. All right, down here we have the buttons. We have the home button here, which is an actual button. On my HTC, it was actually just a soft touch on the screen, but here it's an actual button. So if you click that, it brings up the screen. Let me go ahead and swipe to unlock. Now, I did not have to use my fingerprint because that only works if it's been idle for more than 10 minutes. And I've actually used this phone in the last few minutes. See some of the notifications on the top. You have your time, battery. Right here is Wi-Fi. Sorry, that's cell network and then Wi-Fi. So you got your normal notifications up top there. Let's go ahead and go into CPU-Z real quick, because that'll give you guys a little bit better idea of all of the specs on here. Nope, don't want Netflix. Actually, I've been watching a few new Netflix series recently. There we go, CPU-Z. All right, you can see, as you can see, it's a Qualcomm Snapdragon 820 2.5 gigahertz quad-core CPU. You can see right here it's showing that all CPUs are engaged right now. A lot of times when you're not doing much, it may only have 1 or 2 CPUs active, which is nice. It actually saves on battery power. You can see the GPU clock speed here is 214 megahertz, so this is actually really, really good for playing games. I was playing Angry Birds the other day without any lag. Actually, it was Angry Birds 2. Some more information here. You can see the model is the SMG935A, made by Samsung, 5.5-inch screen. The resolution on the screen is 2560 by 1440 pixels. With a 534 dpi inch screen, so density, so that's a nice dense screen. I mean, if you look at this, the camera's not going to do it justice, but if you ever get a chance to pick one up and actually use it, you will see how nice the screen actually is. It's 4 gigabytes of RAM, but it only shows 3,200, basically 3.5 gigs. Some of that is used by the system, and CPU-Z doesn't always show that properly anyway. As you can see with Android, though, typical Android fashion, it uses most of any kind of RAM it can, so really it's only got 100 or 811 megabytes left. And there's your internal storage. You got 23.32 gigabytes available to you, and right now I have 18.18 gigabytes left because don't really have too much on this phone at the moment. Android version is 6.01. You guys can read the rest. A lot of this won't mean much to you guys unless you're really into Android phones. But you can pause the video if you want to read the specs on that. And of course, CPU-Z loves to give you ads. Now this is where this phone shines. This is a really nice battery in here. As you can see, this is basically a 4200 millivolt battery, which is fantastic. It lasts literally twice as long as my HTC One M8s did. My HTC One M8 was only a 2300 millivolt battery. The temperature's good. Of course, it's lithium ion, and right now I still have 97% charge on there. Yeah, different thermal sensors, all within acceptable ranges right now. And these are just the different accelerometers. So that's pretty much it for the CPU-Z app. That gives you a general idea of the speed and capability of this phone. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the different actual buttons on this. As I stated before, the power button is on the side here, and it's actually taken me a little while to get used to it because on my HTC Ones, they were always on top here, and that's pretty much the phone I've had now for the past 4 or 5 years, but power button here is on the side, so you just got to click that. Again, slide up on the screen to activate it. Down here's the home button. This is basically the back button, and this one lets you go through the various screens. And as you can see, there's really no lag at all. One feature I really like about this, unlike my HTC, I can actually close all of the open screens, which is better for security in case somebody was to get this phone. They couldn't look and see, what personal emails I've been sending or texts and things like that. And just makes it a lot easier. On the side here, we have the volume up and down buttons. And then we'll go into the back here. You can see you got the camera up here and the flash. And I will tell you something. This is an intense flash. I actually took a picture when I first got it of a friend of mine, and he said it almost blinded him. So be cautious when using this the camera on this phone. Don't stand too close to somebody when taking their picture. Now, let's go ahead and do a test of the camera in here, because I do want to show you some really cool features with this. Okay, so I'm on the front-facing camera right now. This does not have an actual flash for the front-facing camera. What it does do is if you take a picture, it will actually turn the entire screen, as you can see, white, and that actually shines light onto your face and works kind of like a flash. So even though the front camera does not have a flash per se on it, it does use the screen to its advantage there. And the cameras on this are very good. I mean, definitely a lot better quality than the HTC One. The HTC One had a 4 megapixel super pixel camera. This is actually a 12, so you're definitely getting a much, much better quality. These are some test pictures I took of Mom's knockout roses the other day, and they really came out nice. This one in particular, I mean, you can see the detail on the greenery and on the rose itself. A few more right there. The Sony camcorder I'm using to film this makes them look a little overexposed, but they absolutely look beautiful. And I'll go ahead and attach some of these test pictures to the end of this video so you can get an idea of exactly how good the camera is on this particular phone. Just go ahead and scroll through those real quick. The white roses, these are my mother's white roses, and they absolutely came out beautifully. Once again, I'm just amazed at the detail that this camera is able to pick up. My old HTC One M8 couldn't come anywhere close to this. Now, I'm going to get to the feature that everybody loves. If you look on the side here, this is why they call it the edge. The screen actually goes off the edge a little bit to the side of the phone. And there are two reasons that they did this. One, it allows you to have extra menus. So basically, if I take my finger and go to the edge, I can go ahead and pull this menu up to the side. And basically, if it'll let me do that, of course, I had to get a notification. And basically what happens is this gives me additional panels. I can actually put favorites here, which I have not had a chance to do yet, but I can add different things like maybe a calculator here. I can add news feeds, and basically just have extra buttons that I don't have to go to one of the other screens for. And I really do like this feature. See, at this point, it's just showing me some local news, actually some local and national news. And it really feels good to hold this phone too. I'll be honest with you. At first it was a little odd having that curved screen, but now that I'm getting used to it, it really does feel good on the hands. And the other reason that you would want this is if you are the type of person that has your phone upside down, it'll actually light up the edge when you have a notification. Now, I'm not that kind of person. When I have my cell phone, I always have it sitting, to me, the right way up. But once again, if you're the kind of person that likes to put it face down, you'll actually get notifications as well. Well, this is my review of the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and got some information out of it too. Please remember to like and subscribe. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.